Zara pressed her pale blue fingers against the cold metal wall of the detention center. Her large violet eyes watched the human male through the energy barrier. He sat quietly in the corner cell, his brown hair messy from sleep. 3 days had passed since the humans arrived at Station Kepler 7, and she still could not understand why her heart raced when she looked at him. The other Valerian guards called humans primitive. They said Earth people were violent and dangerous. But this one seemed different. He had kind eyes and spoke gently to everyone, even the guards who treated him poorly. Captain Ryan Murphy was his name. She had read his file many times. Age 28. Military officer, single, no family back on Earth. The file did not mention his smile or how he always said thank you when she brought his meals. "You are staring again," said Commander Keth as he approached her station. His green skin showed darker patches of annoyance. "The human is just a prisoner. Nothing more." Zara straightened her uniform. "I am doing my job, Commander. Watching the prisoners. Your job is to keep them contained, not to study them like pets." Keth moved closer, his breath smelling of bitter herbs. "The Council will decide their fate tomorrow. Most likely execution for trespassing in our space." Her stomach twisted. But they were lost. Their ship had engine problems. That is what they claim. Keth turned away. Humans lie easily. It is in their nature. After Keth left, Zara looked back at Ryan. He was awake now, doing strange movements on the floor. Push-ups she remembered from the human data files. Physical exercise. His muscles moved under his torn uniform shirt. Heat rushed through her body in a way she did not understand. Their eyes met through the barrier. He smiled and waved. Such a simple gesture, but it made her feel light and warm inside. She looked around to make sure no other guards were watching, then waved back. Ryan stood and walked to the barrier. "Good morning, Zara." Her name sounded different when he said it. Musical somehow. "Good morning, Captain Murphy. Just Ryan, please." He sat down near the barrier. "You look worried today." She should not talk to him. It was against regulations. But his voice was gentle, and she found herself sitting across from him with only the energy field between them. "The Council meets tomorrow," she whispered, "to decide what happens to you and your crew." Ryan nodded slowly. "I figured as much. We have been here long enough." He studied her face. "You think it will go badly?" It was not a question. Humans were good at reading emotions, better than most species she knew. "My people fear yours. There are stories about human wars and violence." "Some stories are probably true," Ryan admitted. "Humans can be violent, but we can also be kind, loyal, protective of those we care about." His eyes met hers. "We are not so different from other species." Zara felt her pulse quicken. "You should not say such things. If the Council hears you comparing us to humans, would that be so terrible?" Ryan leaned forward. "Being compared to someone who thinks you are beautiful and kind." The words hit her like electricity. Beautiful. No male of her species had ever called her beautiful. Her skin was too pale, her eyes too bright. She was considered strange-looking among her people. "You do not mean that," she said quietly. "I do." Ryan placed his hand against the barrier. "I have watched you these past days. You bring extra food when you think no one is looking. You adjust the temperature when prisoners seem cold. You treat us like people, not animals." Zara stared at his hand pressed against the energy field. Her own hand moved forward without her permission, matching his position. The barrier hummed between them, but she could almost feel the warmth of his skin. "This is forbidden," she whispered. "Many good things are." Footsteps echoed in the corridor. Zara jumped back from the barrier as guard Vex appeared. His orange eyes narrowed as he saw her position. "The commander wants to see you," Vex said. "Now." Zara glanced once more at Ryan, then followed Vex down the corridor. Her hearts were beating too fast. Did Vex see them together? Did he know about her feelings? Commander Keth was waiting in his office, along with High Counselor Nix. The old female's silver skin was marked with age lines, and her black eyes held no warmth. "Guard Zara," Nix spoke in the formal council voice. "You have been observing the human prisoners closely." "Yes, Counselor. It is my assignment." "What is your assessment of their threat level?" Zara chose her words carefully. "They seem cooperative, non-aggressive. Their ship truly appears damaged." Nix exchanged a look with Keth. "Interesting. The security recordings show you spending considerable time near the human captain's cell, more than necessary for basic monitoring. Her blood felt cold. I was being thorough in my observations. Indeed. Nick stood. Tell me, what do you know of human mating practices? The question struck her like a physical blow. Counselor, answer the question. I know little about such things. It is not relevant to my duties. Is it not? Nix activated a holographic display. Security footage showed Zara and Ryan talking, their hands pressed against the barrier. This appears quite relevant to me. Zara felt heat rise in her face. There was no point in denying what they could see. He was asking about our culture. I was gathering intelligence. By developing emotional attachment to the subject, Keth stepped forward. You have compromised your position, Guard Zara, and possibly our security. No, she said quickly. You would never what? Nix interrupted. Never let personal feelings cloud your judgment. Never help prisoners escape. Never betray your own people for an alien. The accusations stung because part of her wondered if they were true. Would she help Ryan escape if she could? Would she choose him over her duty to the Valerian Empire? I am loyal to the Council, she said, but her voice sounded weak even to herself. Nick smiled coldly. We shall see. You are assigned to witness the executions tomorrow. You will activate the termination sequence personally. Zara's world spun. Executions. The Council has decided. The humans are too dangerous to release, and keeping them costs resources. They will be eliminated at dawn. Nix moved closer. And you, Guard Zara, will prove your loyalty by carrying out the sentence. After they dismissed her, Zara walked through the station in a daze. Execute Ryan, execute all of them. She could not do it. But if she refused, the Council would know her true feelings. They might execute her as well. She found herself back at the detention center. The night shift guards nodded as she passed. They were used to her checking on prisoners at odd hours. Ryan was sitting on his small bed staring at the ceiling. When he saw her, he stood and approached the barrier. You look like someone died, he said gently. The irony of his words made her want to laugh or cry. Tomorrow at dawn, the Council will execute you and your crew. Ryan was quiet for a long moment. I see. That is all you have to say. What would you like me to say? He sat down across from her. That I am afraid, yes I am. That I wish things were different, of course I do. He met her eyes. That I am grateful to have met you, even under these circumstances, absolutely. Tears began to flow down her face. Valerians rarely cried, but the salt water felt natural now. I am supposed to activate the termination sequence myself, to prove my loyalty. Then you should do it. She stared at him. What? You should do what they ask. Do not risk your life for me. How can you say that? She pressed both hands against the barrier. How can you tell me to kill you? Because I care about you. Ryan matched her position, hands against hands with only energy between them. Because in 3 days you have shown me more kindness than I have known in years. Because you deserve to live and be happy. I cannot be happy knowing I murdered you. And I cannot be happy knowing you died because of me. His voice was firm. Promise me, Zara. Promise you will do what they ask. She shook her head. I cannot. Then I have something to tell you. Something that might change everything. Ryan looked around to make sure they were alone, then spoke quietly. My ship was not damaged by accident. We came here on purpose. Zara felt the world shift around her. What? Earth has been watching this sector for months. We know the Valerians are planning to attack human colonies. My mission was to gather intelligence and find a way to stop the war. You lied to me. The betrayal cut deep. You are a spy. Yes, but everything else was true. How I feel about you, how kind you have been, that was all real. Zara stood and backed away from the barrier. The Council was right. Humans cannot be trusted. Zara, wait. Let me explain. But she was already walking away, her hearts breaking with each step. Behind her, Ryan called her name, but she did not turn around. In her quarters, Zara sat on her bed and tried to think. Ryan was a spy. He had lied about his mission. But did that change how gently he spoke to the guards, how he said thank you for small kindnesses, how he worried about her safety even when facing death? She pulled up his personnel file again.
Captain Ryan Murphy.
military officer. But now she noticed details she had missed before. Decorated for bravery and rescue operations, commendations for protecting civilians, a record of choosing diplomacy over violence when possible. Maybe he was a spy, but maybe he was also the kind person she had come to care for. Dawn was approaching. Soon she would have to report for duty. Soon she would have to choose between her loyalty to the Valerian Empire and something she could not even name. She thought about the